the absurd reality that a person like Trump, a mentally deranged person full of megalomania and complacence, the person who is chastised even by American people as commander-in-chief, Lion King, President Evil holds the nuclear button. These are what constitute the gravest threat to the international peace and security today.
Of course, that was yesterday when we gave the podium to the foreign minister of North Korea at the UN. And then shortly thereafter, our president, Donald Trump, tweeted this. He said, just heard foreign minister of North Korea speak at the UN. If he echoes thoughts of Little Rocket Man, the nickname for Kim Jong-un, they won't be around much longer.
Let's bring in Fox News. A retired four-star General Jack Keane, a former vice chief of staff of the U.S. Army and the chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, and, of course, a Fox News military analyst. General, always good to have you on. Good to see you.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you.
So we've heard those two responses. We'd love yours this morning.
Well, I think, I've been watching President Trump for 9 months very closely and listening to all of his advisors and what they're doing. And I really believe the strategic framework for the United States has changed rather dramatically. He is putting the United States back on a global stage as a world power, promoting peace, prosperity, and stability. And he's reassuring our allies in the Far East, in the Middle East, in Europe, and also in South America. And then he's wanting, and this is where we are now, he's wanting to confront our adversaries in a way that the previous administration has never done. And the other thing I think, when I think about what Trump is doing with Kim Jong-un, this is about big power competition. And when you think back on it historically and strategically, Roosevelt, Kennedy, Reagan, and now Trump. And it has to do with, the occasions that they were dealing with. Not as much as about them, but they were given historic moments to deal with. And they all understood the same thing, that big power competition was a fundamental test of will. And Trump, I think, instinctively knows this.
General,
and that's what's going on.
General, do you believe we've had now more than 20 missile tests flying over our allies in many cases, the president saying that at some point we're going to cross the line. Is it your sense, would you be advising President Trump today that we are nearing a point where we're going to have to take a preemptive move or respond in something more than what we saw yesterday, which was a simple show of power buzzing with our B-1 bombers?
Yeah, I mean, what happened here is the Kim dynasty, 3 presidents permitted nuclear weapons, and Kim Jong-un recalculated during the Obama administration that saving his regime by pointing nuclear weapons at South Korea wasn't sufficient. So he decided he wanted to be like Russia and China and point nuclear weapons at the American people, nuclearized ICBMs. And that would absolutely preserve his regime, probably influenced a little bit by what happened in Iraq, even more so by what happened in Libya. All that said, Obama, I believe, took the military option off the table, and Kim Jong-un knew that. Trump has put the military option back on the table, and the recalculation is taking place, and that is why China is complicit with the United States' request that all nations who are dealing with North Korea have got to shut down trade, and China has agreed to that. That's never, ever happened before. So the threat of Trump using the military option is in the head of President Xi, and it's in the head of Kim Jong-un. We'll see what happens in the future.
Keane, great point. I mean, the credible threat of military force is required if you want to get anything done diplomatically or through states like China. Thank you very much for your time, General Jack Keane.
Good to see you, General.
Appreciate it.